This is strictly for entrepreneurs. So if you're not a business owner, you can scroll. I want to teach you something I wish somebody taught me when I was just beginning this journey. Number one, if you're going to make beyond average money in your business, it means you can't have average thinking. It also means you can't do things the linear way, which means how everybody does things. What does this mean for you as an entrepreneur? The earlier on you figure your age in that particular market, the more you get to position yourself. Second, you've got to understand that you are the founder of that particular business, which means it is on your shoulders to expand that business. Most people don't understand that business is your self-expression. So ultimately, the more you work on yourself, the more it gets to reflect on your business. So those two are not separated. They are one and the same. Third is you learning how to create opportunities for yourself and for that business. I kid you not, the market has chums. The market is loaded. The market has money. For you to claim your chunk of money in that market, you've got to literally demand it, which means you've got to start creating opportunities for yourself. How you do this is one, being intentional about your visibility. There's a reason why multinationals, the likes of Coca-Cola, when you look at them, they continuously advertise. It is not simply because they have the market budget for it. They understand the human psychology when it comes to buying. The more visible you are, the more you create brand awareness. An average person almost has to literally take note of you almost 7 times before they make a buying decision. When you know that as a business owner, it means you proactively manage your sales funnel, which starts from the awareness of your brand. So visibility becomes core in creating opportunities for yourself. Second is something I call critical thinking. You are always going to complain about your business if you don't take time to literally critically think around the expansion of that business. Critical thinking for me, I describe it as almost having like a third eye, because it's not just a balance of logic, it's also a balance of intuition. It is also how you see opportunities where other people don't see. It is how you coin solutions. It is how you remain steady in chaos. It is how you see insights where nobody sees insights. It's how you're able to put 1 + 1 and arrive at 2. If you're gonna run a business that makes beyond average money, I want you to look around anybody that you look up to. This is something that is almost a natural skill set that they have and they bring on the table, because this is the only way for you to be savvy in business. Most of you are not savvy in business because, first of all, your thinking and your mindset is limited to one avenue. Lastly, which is a lesson I'm also just currently learning, if you're a savvy entrepreneur, you've got to learn how to almost shift yourself into different opportunistic roles. Most entrepreneurs are simply focused on one thing, which is their baby that they founded. That is a beautiful thing, but you've got to have the eye that is able to jump on different multiple opportunities. Because for you to grow, for you not to put pressure on just one aspect of your income, you've got to challenge your skill set based on different areas. I'll give you a practical example that happened to me this particular week. A friend of mine is in the country. They're based in the UK, right? They are employed. So we are having dinner and they're telling me about their job and their upcoming busy season and how they're bringing clients down here. So as I inquire, I find out my friend apparently is almost running this entire company on his shoulders, because he's responsible for getting the tourists that he brings down here. Now, these are high-end tourists because my friend speaks over 6 languages. Over 6 languages, which means how he does his marketing is all across Europe, and then he brings them to Africa. The kind of clients that spends millions on just this particular trip over a few days. So I asked a very interesting question. What is your take home at the end of the day. Because clearly you're the business. You go look for the clients, you bring the clients, you still bring them to Africa. You're making for your owners crazy amounts of money. It's up to a juncture whereby you find that the owners are so generous with him. So I challenge him, where exactly is the business there? Where's the business acumen? Because you could be doing this for yourself. What is holding you back? One thing he mentions is, for example, when they're down here, they need a fleet of Land Cruisers. So it was a very simple suggestion from me. How about you just partner, get somebody that can get you those fleet of cars, which I could do. Yeah, and then you are in business. So I'm telling you guys, you've got to understand that as an entrepreneur, you've got to have the eye that sees opportunities before they're open. Because when opportunities are open, usually they're grabbed, they're up for grabs. All right, enough of that. I need to get to work. I do business development, by the way, apart from strategizing for brands when it comes to their visibility and revenue. If that is something you're interested in, hit me up. Personal coaching, I don't know if you have slots currently, but you can inquire. I'll put the number somewhere on the screen. Thank you guys. Cheers.